Let's go trick-or-treat on Elm Street. This is your look at the new Trick-or-Treat Studios, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master, Replica Freddy glove. Trick-or-Treat Studios and Warner Bros. Pictures are proud to present the officially licensed The Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master Deluxe Freddy Krueger glove. Based on hundreds of screen and behind-the-scenes photographs, this is the ultimate Freddy Krueger glove from Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Every detail of the glove worn by Freddy as played by the incredible Robert Englund is present in this glove. The Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master Freddy replica glove was kindly provided by the folks over at Trick-or-Treat Studios for this review. If you're in the market of picking up a higher-end replica of the glove that Freddy wore from that film, head on over to Trick-or-Treat Studios by the link provided in the video description. And while you're also there, might I suggest you wander around the grounds. You'd be surprised how many cool replicas that they have from some of the most popular horror films around. This glove measures approximately 14.5 inches long by 4.5 inches wide. And it's a faithful recreation, as I said, to the glove that Freddy wore in the film. Now, some would say that a Freddy's glove looks best when worn, and far be it for me to disagree with that. Before I slip the glove onto each one of these individual fingers and show you how I wield the blades, I want to show you first the detail that Trick-or-Treat Studios were able to put into this replica of Part 4's glove, which notably is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of all of Freddy's glove designs. I think a lot of it is just because of this. The vein almost that runs along the main plate and all of the individual copper guards that he has on his fingers, always looking at it like it looked like some dark language that was etched and burned into each of his fingers, has been recreated faithfully by Trick-or-Treat Studios. I love the discoloration that they've done. Now, these are real copper plates attached to some of the best leather gloves around, but you can really see the amount of detail that they put into each one of those fingers. Now, they have done a couple of the gloves, but again, my favorite has to be the Part 4 glove, just because of all the additional, it literally just looks like a vein that's running out from his arm, and it extends out to each one of his fingers. The glove is notably quite heavy, and when you flip it upside down, you can see the quality of leather that they actually used for the glove itself. It still has the open slotted area for the visible palm and each of the individual fingers that you'll see in a second as well. Before doing that, though, let's talk a little bit about the blades, all four of them. They've been forged and crafted using stainless steel, and I'm sure the obvious question when seeing this is, are they sharp? Well, you can run a finger along the bottom, and it obviously does not draw blood. The point is also slightly more rounded off, but I do stress this, stating I'm sure the obvious, that these are not geared towards kids. Even though the blades aren't sharp, they can most definitely still cause harm, so you want to be careful having these around kids. Housekeeping is required when you do get the glove out of the packaging. Each one of the blades have been very carefully wrapped and taped in foam just to protect the end of the blades and protect anything inside the packaging. So when you do get this out, carefully cut the tape and remove the foam. It did leave a little behind that I'm just going to take a cloth and wipe that down, but it does go well with the rest of the discoloration for the blades, slightly more rusted and worn like in the film. Love the detail also that they put into each of the end fingers. Again, these have all been crafted using real copper. And like in the film, there's a discoloration that happens on the end of the fingers where you get more of that brown color happening, sort of in that first knuckle joint right here. On the end, however, though, is where you get that additional red, a glorious red that's mixed with colors like brown, black, and a little actually bit of beige and copper on the end as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and actually try the glove on. Anybody that's in the market of wanting to get the new Trick or Treat Studios Freddy gloves for themselves will obviously be wanting to know just how comfortable is the glove when you have it on your hand. How easy are the blades? Are they stiff? Are they too difficult to actually be able to bend? And while I'm getting myself all comfortably situated here, I also want to let you guys know with these Trick or Treat releases, these gloves were originally sculpted by one of the best artists in the business, Anders Ericsson. Anybody that is a diehard fan of the Freddy gloves will probably be quite familiar with his work, even to the point where Ericsson crafted a personal glove for the man himself, Freddy Krueger, the very same glove that Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, wore in the episode of The Goldbergs. So you gotta believe this guy knows how to make gloves. In hand, or on hand now, I can tell you, one of the big difficulties I have with Replica Freddy gloves is usually always this knuckle joint right here. Generally, not all the time, but there's some gloves that I've seen where the actual knuckle joint is extremely hard to bend. Some of these may be fine to bend, while things like, for example, the ring finger or the pinky finger tends to be difficult to bend. In this case, I can comfortably say that the glove is quite comfortable on my hand, and I can move each of those individual finger blades perfectly fine. I also want to go back and talk about the leather that they used for the glove, and not to compare it certainly to other gloves that I've seen before, but I gotta say that the type of leather certainly makes a big difference. This particular leather being slightly more softer and comfortable, it feels like it's almost not even there. It's softer. I can move each of my individual fingers and thumb perfectly fine. I've seen some gloves where they either use a faux leather material or they paint it to the point where if you are moving like a thumb, for example, or a finger, you start seeing paint that's starting to flake off. Because they actually use the real, genuine, high-quality leather for this release, not only am I getting a very comfortable experience, but I'm not also having any issues with like the paint, as you can see, the way that they've stained the glove. It's a very, like I said, very comfortable experience. The glove itself isn't one of the heaviest of the gloves around. If you say compare it to the Freddy vs. Jason glove, where he had larger ringlets and lot broader blades, the Part 4 glove is a little bit more streamlined. And even though this is a slightly more lighter glove, there is still weight to it because of the copper plates that they use, because of the stainless steel that they used for the blades. Overall, I gotta say, it's a pretty comfortable, almost like I got a second skin. It's a very easy Freddy glove to wield and be able to move the individual fingers for. Not only is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 The Dream Master my favorite of all the Nightmare films, but it happens to also be the movie that sports what I consider one of the best glove designs as well. There's something unique about this glove, where it's got that vein that runs across from one end to the other of the plate on the hands, and then on the individual fingers as well. In a way, I look at it, and I feel like I'm almost looking at demonic scripture. The very same thing that was able to resurrect Freddy Krueger after he was burned alive. I know that's not the case at all. Very faithfully recreated here by the folks over at Trick or Treat Studios. Pretty cool, I have to admit as well, that they brought in glove artist Anders Ericsson, the very same glove artist that designed the glove that we saw Freddy sporting in the episode of The Goldbergs. How cool is that? It's a soft, comfortable glove. One good thing going for it is that they used a real premium grade leather for the glove, so it's very comfortable. It doesn't feel brittle sometimes that I've had that issue with other replica gloves. They put so much paint on the glove itself that it becomes almost crackling when you want to move the glove, because they used, in this case, a softer, more manageable, high-quality leather. It means the glove not only is comfortable on the hand, but it moves freely as well, which also is a point I want to mention about those individual finger blades. The rivets that they use to bond or attach the blades to the rest of the glove are comfortable enough and move freely enough that even when you do put it on your hand, you can move those blades perfectly fine. There's no restrictions whatsoever. It's a decent looking glove, really faithfully recreated from one of my all-time favorite, my favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. This one is currently in stock over on Trick or Treat's website. So if you guys are in the market of getting a higher grade replica glove from Freddy Krueger's Outings in Part 4, I'll provide the link down below to Trick or Treat Studios, and you can order yours today. A big thank you, by the way, as well to the folks over at Trick or Treat Studios that provided the sample that we had a look at in this review. What do you guys think of the glove? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you're new to the channel and you're liking the content that you're seeing, consider the idea of hitting the subscribe button down below. Move on over to the bell notification and turn that on. And most definitely stay tuned, because there's definitely going to be a lot of videos coming your way Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.